When you think about why people in Japan live so long, your mind probably goes straight to what? Sushi? Green tea? But what if I told you the real secret isn't just about what they eat, but how they move every single day? We're going to dive into this, and trust me, what researchers have uncovered is pretty mind-blowing. Okay, first, just look at this number. 90,000. That's how many people in Japan are living past the age of 100. Over 90,000. That is more centenarians per capita than anywhere else on the planet. So, you gotta ask, right? How are they doing it? And this is where it gets really interesting. Look at the two approaches to aging. Over here in the US, we're throwing billions at fancy gyms, workout apps, all kinds of supplements. And yet, we're dealing with sky-high rates of chronic disease and pain. Then you look at the Japanese approach. It's totally different. It's all about these subtle, simple movements woven into their daily life. And the result? Incredible mobility and independence, even when they're very old. So what is the secret? Well, researchers from places like Harvard and Stanford went to study Japan's oldest citizens, and you know what they found? It wasn't some magic pill. It wasn't some crazy complicated workout routine. Nope. The secret was hiding in plain sight all along. It all comes down to 6 simple daily movements. All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to unpack this whole longevity paradox. Then we'll walk through those 6 key movements, starting with daily walking and stretching. After that, we'll get into the really foundational stuff, squatting and balancing. And then we'll cover the 2 most powerful movements for longevity, rising and twisting. And to wrap it all up, we'll look at the philosophy that ties it all together, moving smart, not hard. Okay, let's jump right in with movements number 6 and 5. These are all about building those gentle, daily habits that are so crucial for mobility and, get this, for keeping your entire nervous system tuned up. So, movement number 6 is something called sampo. It basically just means to stroll or ramble. And this is the most important part. This is not power walking. It's the exact opposite. It's this quiet, mindful, slow walk, usually done in the morning. We're talking like half your normal pace, where you're syncing your breath with your steps. The whole point isn't to burn calories, it's to create a connection. And the results? Honestly, they're staggering. A 10-year study out of Kyoto University found that seniors who did the Sampo walk every day had 62% less stiffness in their arteries. So why? Researchers think it's because when you walk that slowly, your feet are forced to really fully connect with the ground. This wakes up dozens of tiny little joints and muscles, and that sends a constant flood of information back to your brain, which actually retrains and sharpens your whole balance system. Okay, now for movement number 5, which really builds on that same idea of a gentle daily practice. It's called Radio Taiso, and this is amazing. Every single morning at 6:30 a.m., literally millions of people all across Japan, from little kids to seniors, do this 3-minute routine of gentle, slowing stretches. It's broadcast on the radio, and it's been a national tradition since way back in 1928. And just look at the impact this has. People who do it regularly see a huge drop in things like falls and chronic back pain. See, the goal isn't to work up a sweat. It's to lubricate your joints. It stimulates something called synovial fluid. That's basically your body's own natural WD-40, and that's what keeps stiffness away. All right, our next couple of movements are all about something we've kind of lost in the modern world, restoring fundamental human postures. And at the same time, building a much stronger connection between your body and your brain. Okay, so movement number 4 is the deep squat. And what's so wild is that researchers actually call this a lost posture in the West because we're always sitting in chairs. But in Japan, it's just life. It's how you rest, how you garden, how you just hang out and chat with friends. It's completely normal. And the data on this is just, wow. A 12-year study found that seniors who could just hold a deep squat for 2 minutes had a 70% lower chance of needing assisted living later on. And it makes sense, right? It keeps your hips open, it decompresses your spine, and it keeps your ankles mobile, all things that tend to go as we age. But here's the good news. You can absolutely get this posture back. The key is just to start slow and safe. Stand near a wall so you have some support. If you find your heels are lifting off the ground, just roll up a towel and stick it under them. Hold it for just 20 or 30 seconds to start, and then you can slowly build up from there. All right, movement number 3 might sound way too simple to be effective. It's just standing on one leg for 1 minute. But get this, Researchers at the Mayo Clinic are now saying that your ability to do this is a stronger predictor of how long you'll live than your cholesterol or even your blood pressure. I mean, how crazy is that? And the reason is it forces your body to make hundreds of these tiny little micro adjustments, which just lights up your core, your balance system, and your brain all at the same time. And you know what the best part is? You don't have to carve out extra time for this. It's so simple. A lot of Japanese seniors just do this while they're brushing their teeth. Think about that. You're turning a simple daily habit into this powerful, brain-building, age-proofing ritual. It's genius. Okay, we're down to the final 2 movements. And let me tell you, researchers found that these 2 are the heavy hitters. They're the most impactful for staying independent and are directly linked to a longer, healthier life. So, movement number 2 is what's called the floor-sitting transition. It's exactly what it sounds like, just getting up and down from the floor without using your hands for support. It might sound humble, but it's actually considered the single best test of how well you're aging. Why? Because it demands coordination, core strength, and motor planning, all these critical functions that can quietly start to fade as we get older. And that brings us to number 1, the big one. And this is the real kicker. There was a landmark 20-year study, and it found that practicing this one simple movement for just 2 minutes a day was directly linked to a 7-year increase in lifespan. 7 years from 2 minutes a day. So what is it? Here it is. The towel twist. You literally just grab a towel, you hold it, and you pull it tight like you're trying to rip it in half. And while you keep that tension, you slowly twist your torso from side to side. That constant tension, that's the secret sauce. It forces all these deep stabilizer muscles to fire up. And because you're twisting across your body while under tension, brain scans actually show it lights up both sides of your brain at the same time, which strengthens the connection between them. And just look at this list of benefits. It's not just about building muscle. This simple little twist improves your coordination and your memory. It boosts your reaction time. It's even been shown to increase bone density and maintain your grip strength, which, by the way, is one of the biggest indicators of whether you'll stay independent as you get older. All of that from 2 minutes with a towel? It's incredible. So, okay, we've seen the what, the 6 movements. Let's wrap things up by talking about the why. Because this isn't about pushing yourself to the limit or trying to fight aging. It's a whole philosophy. It's about moving smart every single day. And of course, moving smart means moving safely. So a few quick tips. Always have some support nearby, a wall, a sturdy chair. If you're just starting out, it's probably a good idea to stick with the standing movements first. But the most important thing of all, listen to your body. Pain is not progress here. This is all about consistency, not intensity. And really, this gets to the heart of it. This is the real secret. The older people in Japan aren't doing all this because they're obsessed with living forever. They're doing it because they want to live well. They want to stay clear-headed, strong, and independent for as long as they possibly can. It's really just about getting back to natural, fundamental human movement. And the beautiful thing is, you don't need to move to Japan to